Hello teachers, this video is being created to help you understand how CCAP was organized so it can support your conceptual planning of the American Revolution unit. So here on your unit, you're at a glance, you see the American Revolution unit, that its ranges from 40 to 50 days. So when I click on it and open it up, again I'm going to come to this very first page. There we go. And it has the unit, okay? Notice up here it has the unit overview. That's really important to read because it gives you that broad picture of what the unit is about. There are some documents here, unit considerations that might support you. Background knowledge for teachers who, may be new to this unit or you want to revisit background knowledge. Here are professional development videos. I've opened those up in a new tab so you can see what those look like. But here you see a unit overview, which is about the unit. You see a tool that's in this unit which is called a unit outline, and this video here will explain the unit outline. Also on this page you have some different videos to help you think like a historian, such as this analysis of a colonial newspaper article, reading the Declaration of Independence like a historian, looking at Paul Revere's engraving of the Boston Massacre. So there are some other videos down here that you might find helpful as you think about this unit of study. Last is a social studies conceptual overview, which really looks at the entire school year. But this first page is really important because if you can't look, you want to look at this unit overview and just have a sense of, gosh, what is this whole thing really about? So as you go to stage 1, just to help you understand a little bit about this, anything up here in this top section is state identified standard information. GLE stands for grade level expectations. So you can see what's actually written by the state, and that'll help you to have some context for how the unit is written in greater detail with the knows, understands, and what students should be able to do. One place for concepts is to notice big ideas within social studies. So here are big ideas in this unit that we've aligned are continuity and change over time, the historical process, perspective, which is extremely important, and unity and diversity. How do we come together? How do we respect diverse ideas, diverse opinions? This really plays out throughout the years for students. Overarching understandings, this gives you a lens of what students will be learning about throughout their entire educational experience, preschool through 12th grade. So this gives you some insight in where students are going throughout the years. This unit, number 1, really elevates the concept of historical process, which is the idea of how do historians construct history. So this first organizing concept, you're going to see a lot of things related to how students construct history, such as the use of primary and secondary sources, different historical documents you might be using, how students examine those historical documents, how they create timelines. Okay. Down here you have another organizing concept, which is chronology. So how have things developed and changed over time? When we look at the causes of a revolution, we look at them over time. When we look at the political, social, and economic differences, we look at those over time because it's not just one singular event that caused the American Revolution to sort of get into its outbreak. So you'll see a lot of ideas connected to those concepts. I'm going to come back up here to stage 2, and this is where we look at as evidence. There is a performance task that has been created to go with this unit if you'd like to use it. Also over here you're going to see that there are different suggestions for other types of assessment evidence, tests and quizzes, academic prompts. As we develop and as teachers send in different test quizzes, academic prompts, things like that, I'll continue to add those resources to these links so that you can use those to support your planning. Last, stage 3, this is an opportunity for you to see what was going on in my mind as I organized these resources, because they were organized with great intentionality. So over here on the left you see some tools for analyzing primary sources, because the analysis of primary sources might be new to some teachers who have learned in a way where all they did was read a textbook and have to answer questions. So the analysis of primary sources can be a new approach to instruction, so we want to add that there. There's this skill in the unit of identifying cause and effect relationships, and some of this idea related to historical thinking to inform you as a teacher. Over here for unit specific materials, the first thing you're going to see at the top is a unit outline, a possible approach. You might recall that when I looked at the videos for this unit outline was explained right here. So I want to go to that, and that's great for teachers who have never taught this unit before. The other thing I want you to understand is that as you look at each of these different resources below, you're going to see that they are resource bundles. So this is an idea that there are a number of resources that might be related to a particular topic or a particular idea, and the variety of resources might be used in order to support your planning and instruction. And they're organized chronologically. So when you look at the beginning of the unit, this first resource bundle is about the French and Indian War and its impact. Notice the date at the end as well, so that helps you to see some chronology. Very early on in the American Revolution, there was this notion that people were choosing sides, loyalists or patriots, or many of our citizens were fence sitters, sort of in the middle. Next, we're going to progress to the Stamp Act. So notice how the Stamp Act is 1765, and it progresses chronologically. You go to the next point in time, Declaratory Act and Townsend Acts, 1766, 1767. These are all different events that may have led up to the American Revolution. So we keep going through these events and ideas over time, Declaration of Independence, and then we're actually going to get into the outbreak of the American Revolution. And so that's where we look at this idea of military developments in the American Revolution. We don't necessarily want to look at every single battle, but there are components of military development that help the story of the American Revolution to unfold. And it's not that students need to understand or know about every single battle or every single event, but we want them to gather that idea that there were military developments. Next, this idea that, there were actions of individuals and groups, and that those actions were related to their beliefs. There were a variety of different people who did different things to impact the American Revolution. So there are some great resources in here that help students to learn about what were some of the things that people did in order to impact the revolution. And then, of course, here is the end of the American Revolution. So there are some additional resources down here at the bottom that you might find helpful. That idea of, gosh, what are some of the themes of the American Revolution? That'll give you an idea of that. Here are some great maps. Some of you want some informational text. These have been found. Children's books related to the American Revolution, all kinds of different stuff. Issues of Cobblestone, I think, are fantastic short pieces of nonfiction writing to support students in their understanding of history. So we see some additional items down here, but up here at the top you see these resource bundles, which should really support you in your chronological development and instruction of the American Revolution. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for listening.